All right, during the break between videos, I went ahead and wrote everything down on the right side again so that I didn't have to waste y'all's time going through that. Let's go back to number 21 though, okay? So for number 21, we have our graph of 2 times our fraction of 1/3. Let's close some parentheses first. We close off those parentheses, raise it to the x power, and then drop down and put our -6, and we press zoom 6 to look at this graph. Eventually. There we go. We're looking for the x-intercept. We can see that it crosses at -1, 0. If you want to be sure, calculate that 0 on your calculator, okay? As for the y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 0, -4 is what it looks like. If they're both whole numbers, guys, you can check them both by looking at the table. There we are, -1, 0, 0, -4. Next, the asymptote. The asymptote comes directly from the equation or by looking on the graph at where it's leveling off, and it is specifically the equation y equals -6. That has a lot to do with the range. Keep that in mind. Next is domain. Again, domain earlier was -infinity to +infinity, but all along we've been saying stuff like, hey, it can just be all real numbers. So if you're writing out the answer, I'll take both of those. You can even spell out all real numbers. It'd be fine. Now we're on to that range, which, like I said earlier, had a lot to do with the asymptote, but there's a different sign in the middle. That sign changes depending on where the graph is. I find my asymptote, here it is. Now I gotta ask myself, is the rest of the graph above that or below it? And you can see that it is above it. Now if this were to be flipped upside down, going down this way, it would be below. That's what that would look like. But this one is above. And so what symbol do we attribute with the words above? Greater than. Next is interval of increase, decrease. This is going downhill. And when it's going downhill, it is decreasing from left to right. And then we have to say, when is it decreasing? Well, that one's easy for exponentials because they decrease or increase forever. This one is decreasing from -infinity to +infinity. Finally, we get down to everybody's favorite in behavior, okay? So this top line reads, as x approaches -infinity, y approaches blank. That just means left side. So we start in the middle of our graph, we start walking to the left. And we see as we're walking to the left, we're climbing really fast and really high, okay? Really fast, really high to +infinity. As we walk the other direction, we see we're dropping off, but not forever like it was on the other side. We're dropping and then leveling. We're leveling at the asymptote of -6. So how important was that number? That -6 showed up 3 different times on one problem. Really important number out there. Next, we had number 22. Number 22 had a new equation, so I clear out my old one. It is 5 raised to the -x power, all of this with a +3 stuck out on the end. So I press graph. Now, curious first part of this problem. X-intercept means where does it cross the x-axis? And this is not going to cross the x-axis. It's just staying flat and never getting down there, which means you do not need to leave it blank. Right? Prove to me, tell me that you're confident that you know that there are no x-intercepts here. Don't just leave it blank, please. Please don't leave it blank and come to me the next day and be like, well, I left it blank because there wasn't one. Okay? Tell me there's not one. Okay, tell me there isn't one or none or something like that. The y-intercept, again, we can get from the table, 0, 4, or we can look at the graph itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, 4. Guys, I'm going to say this again. I'm not sure how many years it's going to fall on. Probably not many because it's not helped a whole lot. But this is another thing, kind of like the range. You got to give this to me as a point. You can't just write out the regular number. I've been counting it wrong all year. I'm going to keep counting it wrong, okay? Asymptote, speaking of which, this one has to be written in a very particular manner. Y equals whatever number's on the end, which is +3, Domain, all real numbers, or you could write it with the infinity symbols, whatever floats your boat. Range is going to be, again, y something 3. We take a look at the graph, we see that it's all above the asymptote. Expect to see more less thans tomorrow also. That's kind of an issue, an oversight on my part that a lot of these were greater than. But this one is, it's greater than, it's above the asymptote. Again, we are going downhill and then leveling off, which is a decreasing problem. Now we are decreasing from negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay? Finally, it's end behavior. Okay? End behavior here. So we pull up the graph, take a look. Our left end, as we walk to the left, is going up, 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 up to positive infinity. And our right end is leveling off at the asymptote. So left end is going to positive infinity, right end is leveling off at the asymptote. Again, if you have any questions, just make sure you come see me before class tomorrow or shoot me an email tonight.